Just a few hours ago, there were over 8,000 fans behind us here at the Mullen Center in Amherst, Massachusetts, where the top-ranked team in the country, the UMass Minutemen, took down the Quinnipiac Bobcats, ranked 8th in the USCHO.com poll, 3-1. I'm Jonathan Banks. He's Kyle Levasseur. Welcome inside the Rebound, presented by Q30 Sports. And the story of yesterday's game, Kyle, was kind of how Quinnipiac took it to the top team in the country in their own barn. Quinnipiac came out 4-0 winners today. UMass obviously used their fans, the atmosphere, and everything behind them to play with high energy and grab the win today. What do you think the main difference was for UMass between Friday's game and today?
The energy in the crowds really made the difference for each game, and I think having home ice advantage played a part in each team's win. Yesterday, Quinnipiac scores 42 seconds into the game, and they're just rolling from there on out. Here, UMass is down 1-0, but they're mentally tough. They're the #1 team in the country for a reason, and they end up tying the game midway through the third period, and from there, they're just feeding off the energy in this rink. Players were saying they haven't seen the place like this throughout their entire career, so this is a very special game for the Minutemen, and for them to be able to take the lead halfway through the third period, I don't think Quinnipiac had a chance coming back from that.
Yesterday at the Frank Carter Jr. Arena, it was also booming, but that didn't stop two players from having really career games, Keith Petruzzelli and Andrew Shortridge. Shortridge started on Friday for Quinnipiac, pitched the shutout. Petruzzelli gives up 3 goals technically today, but he also stood on his head. Kyle, what have you seen from both of those goalies, especially this weekend playing against the top team in the country?
Well, JB, you wonder because on one hand, you have Andrew Shortridge, who played out of his mind last night, one of the best goalie performances I've ever seen here at Quinnipiac, and that's saying a lot with the goalies that the Bobcats have had in the past. But you might think Shortridge was going to get the start tonight the way he played against UMass, but Rand Pecknold elects to go with Keith Petruzzelli, splitting the goalies again for yet another weekend in a row. And what do you get? Another fantastic goalie performance. Keith, he played fantastic hockey. He was very calm in net for the first 2 periods. And then Greg Carvel, the UMass head coach, said, you know what, the third period, we're going to adjust and take away his eyes. And you saw on the first goal that Quinnipiac allowed, there was some traffic in front of the net. Petruzzelli couldn't do that much. And when you have 40 shots against, what are you going to do as a goalie? You can play out of your mind for a while, but eventually, when the pucks keep happening, that's hockey, eventually one is going to find the back of the net.
The goaltending, obviously a reason for Quinnipiac's huge success. Right now, they're ranked as the 8th team in the USCHO.com poll. 14-3 record heading into the few weeks break before they take on Colgate in Long Island. So, Kyle, what are your observations of Quinnipiac's first half?
The way Pecknold describes his seasons is splitting it up into thirds. So the first season is done for the Bobcats. They'll have the second season when they get back from winter break, and then the third season is the playoffs. So if I'm ranking the first season, I give them an A+. The way things ended last year with a 16-18-2 record in a self-proclaimed embarrassing season for the Bobcats, they came back rolling to start this year. They're only 2 wins away from tying last year's total at 14-3. They're a top 10 team in the country. They go out and beat the #1 team in the nation last night. So a fantastic start to the year. And what's most impressive to me, Jonathan, is that they have so many freshmen on the team that are contributing. 2 freshmen are on the first line in Wyatt Bongiovanni and Ethan DeYoung. Both are playing fantastic. And then they also have some of the best players in the country. Chase Prisky had one of the best starts to the season I've ever seen a Quinnipiac defenseman have. He's, in my mind, a Hobie Baker candidate. He's one of the top candidates in the country, the way he's playing.
An extremely strong first half. The Bobcats will have a few weeks off before they head to Long Island, like I mentioned earlier, to take on Colgate in a matchup that does not count for the ECAC hockey standings. Here from the Mullen Center, where the #1 UMass Minutemen defeated the #8 Quinnipiac Bobcats 3-1. I'm Jonathan Banks. He's Kyle Levasseur for Q30 Sports.